Hey everyone, Meteorologist Ethan Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Saturday edition of our 19 at 10:15 weekend weather show, available wherever you stream, including on the 24/7 weather streaming channel, Roku, Hulu, of course on fox19.com, the Fox 19 News and First Alert weather apps, YouTube, and of course on Facebook, on the Fox 19 Facebook page. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to chime in there. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. Okay, so before we get started, we are looking at 2 days that are of concern for us here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. The first one is a first alert weather day. That's going to be Sunday late evening into Sunday overnight. And then also Wednesday has now been introduced as kind of a concerning scenario here with the latest forecast. So we'll dive into all those details for you. And then we'll take a look at that 7-day forecast, even beyond the 7-day forecast coming up here in a little bit. But before we go any further, more details right now on that first alert weather day. So late Sunday evening, we are looking at the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms. It'll begin around 7 o'clock as initially a line of storms moving in. And the main threat with those storms is going to be damaging straight line winds. However, in this kind of scenario, those straight line winds could easily develop maybe a brief tornado along that leaning edge. We call it a leaning edge spin up. There's also the potential for heavy rain. In fact, heavy rain is even a greater threat than the brief spin up tornado threat. But there's also the threat for large hail. So pretty much all modes of severe weather on the table, but the greatest threat is damaging straight line winds. In fact, we'll show you that model data right now that will show you what we're talking about here. So once I go down to find it, there we are. And so what we're going to be looking at is some showers and storms moving in tonight. They're not severe, but what we're watching is Sunday evening. That's severe. So today we're pretty dry. So if you're heading to the Reds ballpark here today, a slight chance at the very end of the game. Otherwise, though, it's cloudy, it's warm and breezy. But then overnight tonight, after midnight, we're looking at a line of, or a wave of showers and thunderstorms moving in. These won't be severe tonight. They will bring in some heavy downpours. They will bring in some thunder and lightning. Maybe a brief gust of wind, but not severe. This is going to go into Sunday early morning. You see here, 7 a.m., still some lingering scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder. Then we go into the early afternoon. This is 3 o'clock. Things are drying out. And tomorrow's will be one of those days where it's not good if you have sunshine. So this is tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Do note we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, but there are some peaks of sun, which, as I mentioned, not good news because that's going to add to the instability in the atmosphere. Add what we call it is destabilization, because a stable atmosphere, storms can't really develop in that. You need to be unstable. So sunshine on a day like tomorrow is going to help destabilize the atmosphere, and there you have it. After 7 o'clock, a line of showers and thunderstorms begin to move into the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and this line will continue going into Sunday night. And you can see there, a lot of rain, of course, those thunderstorms, and then after midnight, 1 a.m., that line begins to fall apart, and then Monday we will begin to dry out, and temperatures will fall during the afternoon. So because of this risk of strong to severe thunderstorms on Sunday evening, we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather. And this is the Storm Prediction Center. This is tomorrow, mind you. This is a pretty wide area of an enhanced risk. Normally you see it more concentrated over certain areas, but this is a pretty robust system to give us that large enhanced risk, which covers most of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. So again, the main threat's going to be damaging straight line winds, heavy rain, maybe some hail, maybe a brief tornado cannot be ruled out here. Again, the timeline is 7 p.m. to about 1 a.m. or so, and it's going to begin to our western counties and progress eastward. So Sunday evening, Sunday night, you want to have multiple ways to receive alerts because it's, of course, a lot of folks will be going to sleep at this time. Weather radio is a great option to have, number one. Number two, the First Alert Weather app, notifications turned on. That way, again, you can have those notifications of warnings rain near your location, lightning near your location, all those different things you can have on the app. And of course, if a warning is issued, we will break into coverage, of course, right here on Fox 19. Meteorologist Aaron Ashley, and I won't be surprised. We haven't had an in-depth discussion on the schedule yet, but Steve may have to come in to aid with Aaron if this does look to be bad enough, which there's that potential here for that. But definitely looking at that line of strong to severe thunderstorms moving in after 7 p.m. tomorrow. But today, let's shift gears real quick, because today things are not bad. In fact, today, looking at a lot of cloud cover, which isn't ideal, but the temperatures pretty warm. So if you're going outside today, looking pretty warm, maybe a little humid, just a little bit. But here's a live look on our rooftop camera in Queensgate. I love this shot. I show it often, but it's because I love it so much. Not to mention this camera has been down for a while, but our engineers got it back up and running. This is a live look over towards the Museum Center, over at Union Terminal there towards the west end, and Price Hill there in the corner. Nice views. A little bit of breeze out there already showing up here in Cincinnati. And today we could be looking at wind gusts upwards of 20, 25 miles per hour, even close to 30 miles per hour here today. And as you can see behind me, this is our Newport Levee camera. Again, some sunshine's trying to peek through. You can see the American flag there flying atop of the U.S. Bank Tower. A little breezy gust out there. You can confirm with that. And then taking a look at our Turfway Park camera. Again, looking nice. Horses out there still enjoying the view. And right now it is 68 degrees. So temperatures have warmed up a degree or so every hour here since I came in this morning. It was 64 degrees when I came in at around 5, 6 a.m. So very warm here this midday. And it'll stay warm here this afternoon. This is our tower camera looking off towards downtown. Again, some sunshine peeking through. And then also our Mount Auburn camera looking at overcast conditions there. And then our Clovernut Country Club camera, mostly cloudy skies with a little bit of sunshine peeking through. But for the Reds forecast this afternoon, 4:10 first pitch over at Grand American Ballpark. Temperatures, again, will be really warm in the mid-70s. A little breezy with gusts up to 20, 25 miles per hour. A slight chance of sprinkles or a light shower late. Otherwise, it looks to be dry, looks to be warm, and of course, great for the kids, with it being kids' opening day. But we do have more active weather going into next week. And again, another potential first alert weather day coming up Wednesday. We'll talk some more details on that coming up, and we'll go back to that model to show you that hour by hour in a moment. But for now, take a pause real quick. Take a look at our Facebook comments and questions before we dive any further. Jane says, hey, Ethan. Barb says, good morning. And then Darla says, hello, Ethan. Hope you're having a great morning. It's sunny and windy here in Aurora. Yeah, breezy conditions out there. We're going to expect to see those continue throughout the day today into this evening. So breezy is going to be the name of the game the next couple of days. In fact, tomorrow is just downright windy, even outside of showers and thunderstorms. So we've got that going for us here as we dive on into tomorrow with those showers and storms and, again, gusty winds. Taking a look right now at the latest temperatures here across the tri-state area. Let's go ahead and do that now. Actually, let's do the region first, and then we'll dive into what we're seeing locally and include the winds and wind gusts. Once the computer loads for me, waiting for that to kick in. There we go. Right now, it is 68 degrees here in Cincinnati, upper 60s towards Pittsburgh. We're probably even in the low 70s over towards the other tri-state area, that being Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia. 68 down into Nashville, 62 over towards St. Louis, and also 62 up in Chicago. We're already at 70 along the Great Miami and Little Miami rivers. Hamilton right now at 70, same goes for the Lunken Airport. Even the Licking River, along the Licking River, Falmouth, 70 there. 69 in Batavia, 66 in Wilmington, also in Batesville, and then 68 up in Warren County over in Lebanon. And the winds are probably aiding and giving us some of that warmer weather. Winds are around 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the south and southwest, and wind gusts already upwards of 20, even close to 25 miles per hour. Could see those gusts up to 25, 30 later in the day today. So A breezy, warm, cloudy day on tap. And we'll show you, if you want to see the hours for the afternoon, because I know I showed the Reds forecast, but just in case if you want to see the planner forecast, you got that too with the timestamps on it. And that's going to show us a high of 76, well above average. Almost 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. And again, a slight chance of rain just before sunset. Otherwise, though, it looks to be dry. And if you're traveling across the region, you can see a little bit more rain activity further up to the north over towards Cleveland, Columbus, Indianapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, even down into Nashville. Some rain chances there. Man, I tell you what, a lot of rain chances across the region, even Pittsburgh, looking at that. But for us, it looks to be fine for us here this afternoon. But temperatures will be pretty warm towards Columbus and Pittsburgh in the mid to upper 70s. They're just like us. Low 80s down towards Charleston, West Virginia, 70 in St. Louis, 74 in Nashville. So take a look at our wind gust forecast model here. And this will show us, again, once the computer wants to load for me, that today's going to be a little bit of a breezy day. So we go into this afternoon, wind gusts up to 20, 25 miles an hour. We go into Sunday afternoon, wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. In thunderstorms, higher wind gusts possible. And then Monday, wind gusts near 30 miles per hour. So a breezy next few days here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. We'll show you that forecast model one more time for what to expect this evening, tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night right now. So here we go. This is doing a pretty good job showing that rain off to the north and west, not impacting us. We go into this afternoon, again, mostly cloudy, 7, 8 o'clock. Again, I have that slight chance in there, but this model is even drier, which has been positive news for folks who are heading to the game. And then around midnight and later, rain begins to move in from the west to the east. Widespread rain, especially late, around 2, 3 a.m. And then we go into our Sunday morning. Still some scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder. And this will continue Sunday mid-morning. There's 10 a.m. Still got rain to our eastern half of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Then we go into the afternoon hours. Skies begin to clear out. And those little green dots there are indicative of maybe a sprinkle, light shower with some of those clouds passing through. But otherwise, though, Sunday afternoon, early evening. So I got a yawn. I apologize. Man, I haven't had any caffeine this morning. That's my fault, though. Been drinking some liquid death. So, again, this is the Sunday afternoon. You can see here, we've got some sunshine. As I mentioned at the very top of this weather show here, sunshine on Sunday is not a good not a good thing. We're looking at a pretty unstable dynamic atmosphere working its way in here, going into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Look at my phone real quick because we do also our forecasts for the Reds. I just want to double check and make sure that they're not needing any assistance from us in any regard. So we're good. Okay, so again, Sunday afternoon, sunshine, not a good thing because already an unstable atmosphere, that sunshine just adds to the energy, the thermal energy that would just make the storms even stronger. But even then, the storms will still be strong to severe going into Sunday night. So here is Sunday, 5 o'clock. We play this out to 7, 8 o'clock. And there's that line. That line that could have with it damaging straight line winds. There's another line up here to the north and west. But this line here, the main threat, damaging straight line winds. In addition, lightning, hail, heavy rainfall. But along this line where that straight line wind development is going to be, notice, it might be hard to tell on your view. Even if I put up full screen, it'd be kind of hard to tell. But right in here, these little curves, that could easily drop a brief tornado. A really small tornado won't last very long. But even then, though, that's still going to be a threat with this. So it's going to be really important to have ways to receive alerts. You're going to have that first weather app notification turned on. And that's going to be something that we will need to keep monitoring for that. So right now, the main threat still looks to be damaging straight line winds. We go into the overnight hours, Sunday night into Monday, still showers and thunderstorms, and that is going to be heavy rain, strong winds. And then we head into the overnight hours. The showers and storms still continue, bringing us some scattered showers in by Monday morning. So that's what we've got coming up here the next couple of days. Take a pause real quick, and then we'll go ahead and look at next week, which also looks at the potential for more active weather here into the region. So take a pause real quick, look at our Facebook comments and questions. Caleb says, hi from Adrian, Michigan. Hey, Caleb, good morning to you. Hopefully you're having a good start to your weekend. Becky, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Saying if there's going to be a big weather event, like it when Steve and I work together, no drama, just facts, and they play off one another. Well, thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. I always enjoy working with Steve when it comes to severe weather events. As much as I hate severe weather in a sense of it impacting folks, I do enjoy forecasting it. I do enjoy tracking it, and in hopes, of course, no damage or injuries or nothing like that. But thank you, Becky. Darla says they agree with Becky. Thank you. Molly says, good morning, Ethan. This storm's coming in on Sunday. Sounds scary. Thanks for updating us. Hopefully got some coffee time in. I will have some coffee here soon. Thank you, Molly. Rachel says, some people are saying there's going to be strong long-track tornadoes on Sunday night. Is that true? Not for us. That threat looks to be further south and west of us. Could those storms arrive on our doorstep in southwestern locations? Perhaps. That I cannot rule out. So one thing I do want to show you real quick, since you bring that up, Rachel, is that we do have, again, that enhanced risk of severe weather for us in the tri-state area. So once this graphic loads, let me go ahead and wait for it to pull out. Computer's running a little slow this morning for us. Maybe I need some coffee too. There we go. So there's that timeline, 7 p.m. And I put 3 a.m. I was being a little generous. I think 1 a.m. is probably the more ideal time frame. But damaging straight line winds, a primary threat here. And I want to show you this real quick. There are different parameters we look at from the Storm Prediction Center that monitor these different risks, whether it's tornado, whether it is hail or winds. So let me go ahead and switch this over to, oops. There we go. So the significant line are these black shades right here. And it's where that yellow is. So, Rachel, to your credit, yes. Southwestern locations, which is what I was trying to allude to, we're on the tail end of seeing that potential threat. But most of that threat for long-track tornadoes is further south and west towards western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, off towards Missouri, down into Arkansas. So this is the tornado risk. This is, again, for Sunday. Yeah, you can see there, that's the extension of how far down it goes. So most of the long-track tornado scenario is going to be down here. But if any of those storms maintain themselves, they could make their way close to us. I cannot rule that out. Our greater threat, though, is going to be the wind. In fact, let me switch this over real quick. That's for today. Let's switch this to tomorrow. There we go. So for us, the reason why it's an enhanced risk for severe weather, this is the wind risk. This is, again, damaging straight line winds. The potential to see wind gusts over 60, even over 70 miles an hour, potentially in some of these storms. And again, this is all going to happen in the evening hours. So this is something you got to take seriously because a lot of folks will be going to bed. It's going to be dark outside. It's going to be hard to see these storms move in. You can hear them, of course. You can track them on radar. But you do want to take this on a serious note because Again, damaging straight line winds. Everyone gets so focused on tornadoes, they miss the point of those damaging straight line winds. A news director of mine in Bowling Green, back when I worked at WBKO, he had a really good statement. Whether it spins or it's straight, damaging winds are damaging winds. Of course, tornado is the eye capture. That's the one everyone tries to follow because, of course, tornadoes, they can be scary. But damaging straight line winds can be just as dangerous, if not more dangerous sometimes, than tornadoes. And in this scenario for Sunday, we do need to take it seriously with these winds. Another threat is going to be the hail, although this hail threat is not as bad. In fact, let me switch this over real quick. There we go. Not as bad as the winds, but still we are looking at that potential for significant hail into our south and western counties. And I will say the hail and the tornado threat coming in on Sunday evening, Sunday night, it's a little conditional. It's going to depend on those cells that track further south and west if they arrive here in time. So let me try to pull up a model real quick. And I'm going to do my best to try to be able to for you to see it, but then also, and not to mention go through this computer. Man, it's running slow here the last 30 minutes or so. It probably needs an update. That they all do anymore. Okay, let's play this out. Let's try to change. Okay. So what we've got here, we'll play this out here, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. There's Sunday 7 o'clock. And down here, there will be cells that fire up where there's a lot more warmth, a lot more moisture. So anything around here is going to have that greater potential for, again, tornado, long track tornado, large hail, of course, damaging straight line wind scenario, and the heavy rain. But these cells, if they move along this line and make it to our way, we could also see that. And this model is a little clunky, but you can kind of see what I'm saying here. As this moves this direction, they're going to develop along this line or just ahead of that line. So, Rachel, there is a good point. You commented about that we do have that potential. It's mainly concentrated to our south and western counties. But that being said, that threat is still there nonetheless. So that's why it's important to have ways to receive alerts in case one of those cells do make it into our southwestern counties, that being Switzerland, Ohio, Carroll, Ripley, Decatur, Owen counties, areas that will be especially going to be on the lookout for that potential there. If you live in Clinton, Highland County, Adams County, that threat's a little bit lower for you, but nonetheless, still, the threat of severe weather exists, so you need to have ways to have alerts. So yes, Rachel, thank you. Josh asking about Van Wert County. Van Wert County is not in our viewing area. In fact, I'm not even sure where Van Wert County is, Josh. We have a lot of different sister stations around the region. I would suggest going to them. And then Josh also asking about derecho winds. I don't like throwing that out there because derecho is a very specific thing. There's a potential for it, yes, but no, we're just going to call this damaging straight line winds, Josh. Dennis saying asking Grant County. We're going to take a pause real quick and not dive into every single location. That's just going to be way too much time here on this weather show. But again, greatest threat for severe weather, especially that all parameters are going to be here. So pretty much along and south of I-74, along and west of I-75. So Boone County, Grant County, Gallatin, Carroll, Owen, Switzerland, Ohio, Dearborn, Ripley, Decatur counties. You folks will have the greatest risk of seeing damaging straight line winds, tornado threat, hail, spam call. Sorry, my phone's been really busy with everyone texting and everything else. Okay, so those are those southwestern locations that'll have the greatest threat. But even then, these storms are strong enough to maintain themselves and could progress eastward. So everyone needs to be on guard for Sunday evening, Sunday night. Suzanne asking, so tomorrow early morning flight's going to be east from Cincinnati, okay. Yes, it will be wet. There will be some showers, some gusty winds, but nothing severe, Suzanne. So you should be good tomorrow early morning. So we have that for us. Okay, we got to move on here because I got to wrap this up soon because I got to get some stuff ready for the Cincinnati Reds. And, of course, we got to update some stuff for the website and on the First Alert Weather app. So this is, again, the enhanced risk for the majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. This is for Sunday, 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. In addition, we also have a flash flood risk. So we're looking at a marginal risk of excessive rainfall, meaning that some of these storms could produce locally heavy rainfall to the point where flash flooding will be possible. Then, looking ahead to Wednesday. Wednesday, we already have an enhanced risk of severe weather for areas along and west of I-75. So this includes all of southeast Indiana, much of northern Kentucky, and then Butler and Hamilton counties. Again, this is for Wednesday. And this far out, if you've heard the last couple of weeks, it's been kind of an active pattern already. But when we've talked about the storm risks for any time after or anything beyond 60 hours is not often done by the Storm Prediction Center unless it looks warranted. And right now this looks warranted. So we need to be especially on guard for Wednesday too. So I know there's a lot of information here. I'm telling you Wednesday next week, but then more importantly, Sunday. So Sunday is coming up tomorrow evening. That's the primary goal. We've got to make it through tomorrow evening first. Once we're done with Sunday night into Monday, then our focus will be on Wednesday. So Wednesday, all modes of severe weather on the table, including tornadoes, so we will need to keep an eye on that first alert forecast. In addition, we're also looking at very heavy rainfall moving in. Again, this is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, a slight risk of excessive rainfall or flash flood risk. So those are things we need to monitor for the middle of next week. So if you don't like severe storms, I apologize, but this is a time of year where these things tend to happen here across the region. So the best thing to do if you have storm anxiety, the best thing to do if this makes you feel uncomfortable is having multiple ways to receive alerts. And when those alerts do get triggered, know where to go, whether you're at home, work, or school at these time frames. So again, our focus now is tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. onward through 1, 2 a.m. Then Monday, we got morning showers. They'll taper off, still be breezy, and temperatures will fall through the day on Monday. Monday morning, 58, afternoon, 52. Tuesday, starting off a little chilly, 30s, high of 54, partly cloudy. Then our next focus will be on Wednesday, the potential for strong, severe thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening, windy, a high of 75, and then the latter half of next week is going to be active. Rain, potentially heavy at times. Temperatures in the 60s for highs and lows in the 50s. So pretty warm, pretty wet across the region then. But our main focus right now is Sunday. So that's a 7-day forecast. I'm letting you see it. I'll put up full screen for you. But our focus right now should be Sunday before we go talk about any more details on Wednesday. In fact, right now, Wednesday, that far out, there's still some question marks. We will keep you posted as we get closer. But Wednesday, another day of concern to the first alert forecast. So that is what we're dealing with right now. And that's the 7-day forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 14-day forecast if you are curious. And what we've got here is temperatures cooling down going into the end of the following week. So Thursday, the April 10th and April 11th, temperatures cooling down and getting a little unsettled with rain chances then as well. So we are talking about cooler air moving into the tri-state area by then, which that point, that'll be a little bit cooler than normal for this time of the year. We'll go back to the 7-day forecast real quick, answer any final questions, and then we'll go ahead and hop off of here. Been on here for 30 minutes now. I can talk a lot. All right, Dennis says night storms are never good. You can't see it coming. I know, Dennis. That's the part about this that makes it really challenging to try to communicate the hazards with it, because this is a very serious thing, but also trying to find some way of comfort for those who do have some anxiety. So that's why it's important to know where to go in the event of a warning and have the ways to receive alerts. So yeah, Sunday is one of those things that we will need to monitor, of course. Darla says, thank you. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Darla. Rachel says, we have a chance of it being downgraded, correct, for Sunday and Wednesday. Rachel, I would say the better odds of anything being downgraded at this point might be Wednesday. Though Wednesday, to me, looks more concerning at the moment, and I'm not trying to compare the two. Wednesday has better odds of seeing all modes of severe weather for the entire tri-state, whereas tomorrow evening, the scenario of the damaging straight line winds is for everybody. The tornado risk is a little bit more cut off further west and southwest of us, but I don't think they're going to downgrade us just because right now the data does not suggest the need to downgrade. It still looks like damaging straight line winds and heavy rain both Sunday as well as Wednesday, Rachel. So right now, downgrading. 1 second, I'm sorry. Okay, the computer for a second froze up. We're good. All right, but what I was going to say is I appreciate all of you who comment, ask questions. I try my best to communicate the forecast with you in any way I can. But yeah, we got to get prepared for Sunday. It's going to be one of those evenings and nights where any storm could easily knock down tree limbs, power outages, and especially this time of year too. The trees are just starting to bud and everything else. It makes it a lot more challenging just to keep trees when you have winds like that coming up on Sunday evening. But yeah, at this point, meteorologist Aaron Ashley would keep you posted tonight at 19 at 6 with an update on that storm outlook for both Sunday as well as Wednesday. Talk about more of the details and the timeline. Of course, by that point, a lot more data will be coming in. At this point, though, we're going to go ahead and end this weather show. I need to update the Reds here shortly on some information for today, which, by the way, if you're going to the game today, it's going to be fine. Just a lot of cloud cover, really warm, highs in the mid-70s, a little breezy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Maybe a slight chance of rain towards the very end of the game. Otherwise, though, a great day for kids' opening day today. Go out and enjoy today. It's going to be really warm. If you like the warm weather, today is the day to go out and enjoy it. Because after today, things get active. Sunday's active. Monday, showers in the morning, temperatures fall in the afternoon, kind of gloomy day. Tuesday, dry, but chilly, mid-50s for highs. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, all active days. Wednesday especially of concern with the risk. Maybe some stronger storms by that point. But as we get closer, things will be tweaked, updated, respectfully. But at this point, we're going to close things off. Thank you for those of you who joined us here on this weather show. 19 at 10:15 this morning. Again, we'll keep you posted on the First Alert Weather app as well as on fox19.com, the 24/7 weather streaming channel, and of course on the First Alert Weather app. That'll do it for us here on this Saturday edition. Meteorologist Aaron Ashley will give you an update tonight on 19 at 6, and of course tonight on the late show after 10 o'clock, right here on Fox 19 Now.